Okay, so I'm making a video on some of the things you might want to change before you start your My Math Lab Math 208 or Math 209 class. One of the things you want to definitely do is change the due dates and the settings for the students. So go to any My Math Lab assignment. So I'm going to go to orientation here. Click on the practice simulation homework and game, external content launch. Okay, so it comes up with this. Now, I already changed a lot of these settings, so it's going to look a little bit different than yours. Yours is going to have assignments right here, because My Math Lab automatically puts every single assignment up for the whole course. If that's what you like, if you're okay with them having access to every single assignment on the first week, that's totally fine, but I like to have them come week by week. So the first thing I do is I go to the homework and test manager, and then you can go assignment by assignment and change the settings. So let's try this one first. So this one I'm going to go to edit. Okay, and then that's pretty much the screen. Then go to next. Now here's where it's important. You choose when you want them to start the assignment and the time, and you choose when you want them to turn in the assignment. The cool thing is they give you the Arizona time, because everything here is based on Arizona time, so watch out for that too. For instance, Arizona is an hour ahead of us right now. So the current course time for them is 1:30, but our time is 12:30. So let's change this. If you want the assignment to be actually due at 6 p.m. before class starts, okay, but Arizona is an hour ahead, you actually have to make this 7 p.m. because they're an hour ahead of us. Okay? And then these are some things you can change also. You can allow them to work on it after if you allow late assignments. If not, that's totally fine too. I give them 3 extra days. So let's put that at 7 p.m. also. I give them 3 extra days to turn it in, and then I deduct a penalty from the score of 50% if it's late. But I have it apply only to questions that are scored after the due date. So you can limit the number of submissions. In the video it tells them they have unlimited submissions, so you might want to keep it consistent with what the video says. I also check this. If they get a question right, it locks it in. They don't have to keep doing that question over and over. It's up to you if you want to allow them to print it or type coordinates. Okay, so this is just so you can save it and get to it later, and then save and assign. Okay, so it's changing settings and due dates. Make sure you go back and change all these. I need to go back and change all of these. Let's talk about the checkpoints. That's just the orientation. Let's go to the checkpoint next. Okay, so it's a little bit different. It tells you the checkpoint is basically a quiz, so it tells you what questions are going to be covered on the quiz. Okay. For now, I would probably keep it the same. It's up to you if you want to change these, but it also gives you a good idea of what you want to make sure you go over with them, all the sections and all the concepts. So I'm just going to go to the next. Okay, so once again, it's up to you when you want to assign it. So this actually needs to be changed to 11 p.m. because it's right after they get out of class on that day, and this needs to be changed to 7. Okay. It's up to you if you want to allow partial credit. Now, once again, in the video, it tells them that they only have 1 attempt on this quiz. So make sure they're ready for it. And also in the video, it says that they have to do it in 1 sitting. So I kept those settings the same. So I didn't keep the save for later option. So they have to complete it in 1 session. And if it's interrupted, they may re-access it. So I just kept that the same for now. It's up to you if you want to scramble the question in orders for each student. And then you can import this. So let's go to the next. Now, also in the video, it says that you have to complete 60% of the mastery points, which is 60% of 7, which is 5, before you can take the checkpoint. So the mastery points are the points that correspond to these assignments right here. Now, these are the checked boxes that were checked before. I'm leaving exactly the same how it was set up before, which means you really need to pay attention to these sections when you go over it in class. Section 1.1, 1.3, 1.7, 1.8. And if you're wondering what sections are checked under there, you just click that, and then it'll tell you what exactly you need to go over. Now, so that's pretty much it. And then save and assign. So that's how to see what's inside the assignment, how to change the settings, and the due dates. Okay, there's one more thing I wanted to go over with you guys. Well, two more things actually. One of them is another setting in here, which is edit study plan. So the study plan corresponds with the checkpoints. So there's, in this case, for this one, there's 7 different mastery points that correspond with that checkpoint. So let's go to edit study plan. Okay, once again, there's those 7. There's the 5 required. So if you wanted to change anything that corresponded to that quiz, you wanted to add more things that they need to master, or anything like that, this is another option where you can just go in and check it. And once again, you can see what's inside those mastery points inside here. Okay, so that's due dates, settings, watching out for time, see if I missed anything, attempts, all that stuff. Okay, a couple other things in the course home that you might want to point out to students on the first day is this browser check down here to make sure your pop-ups are turned off, and this is also a good little resource for telling them watch out for things like spaces and putting x equals something instead of, you know, just a number or something like that, how to put in answers. Okay, last thing. I hardly ever use any tabs here except for this homework and test manager and the gradebook. If you click on the gradebook, this is how you're going to be grading your assignments. So this is a rundown of all the assignments. So I guess I already had someone do the orientation, which is pretty good. So it tells you the percentages. Okay, so one other thing that's not in the videos I think that might be important is knowing how your students are doing overall. So a good resource for that is the performance by chapter link here. It gives you how the students are doing on the quizzes and the study plan per chapter. So like chapter 1 is week 1. So it gives you a breakdown on how they're doing in this section on the homework, and how they're doing in this section on the quizzes, and how they're doing in this section. So, and basically every assignment that you assign on that chapter, it tells you how all the students are doing. So if you notice that a lot of the percentage is pretty low for, you know, section 1.1, you might want to cover that in class, that kind of stuff. Okay. Okay, there's only one more thing I wanted to go over with you, is how to actually make written tests. So you don't have to actually do it yourself. My math lab will do it for you. So let's say you wanted to make a test that's similar to the week 1 checkpoint. So what I do is I actually, since I don't want to mess with the assignment, I go to copy. Okay, and I'm going to copy that. I'm going to call it something else. I'm going to call it week 1 in class quiz. Whatever you write here is what's going to be printed on the top of the quiz once you do it. So let's go next. Okay. Now, you can pick and choose what ones of these you want in there. If you want to have a 10-question quiz, it's up to you. If you want to add more, it's up to you. You just, to add more, you find the section that you want to add. So it's in chapter 1. And then click on whatever you want to add. Click add and it'll put it into your quiz. Or, like in this case, let's say these two questions might be very similar. Order of operations, maybe I only wanted one order of operations question. So I want to remove that one. And maybe some of these are similar. Like simplify that expression and simplify that expression. That seems pretty similar. So I'm going to remove this one. Let's say that I only wanted 8 questions on my quiz. And there you go. There's my 8 questions. Okay? Okay. And then Go to next. Okay. That's pretty much it. Now you're not really actually assigning it, so you don't have to make any due dates here or really change any of this stuff. All you have to do is save it. Okay. Now notice I click save and not save and assign. If you save and assign it, the students are going to be able to see it. So don't click and don't save and assign, or else they'll be able to see it. So now in this case, it's right here, week 1 in-class quiz. Now all I got to do is print it. Now, I like to include the question ID with every question. That way, if the students get the question wrong, they can go back into my math lab and try similar problems to that, or look in the textbook and see exactly which problems they need to work on. And then I'm going to have print the answers on a separate sheet, because that's my key. So I'm going to print it. Takes a little while to print. Okay, I'm actually going to use it as a PDF here. So it's up to you how you want to print it though. I'm going to call this in-class quiz week 1. Okay, let's open that up. So here's what the quiz is going to look like. The boxes are where they're going to put their answer. It's a little bit small to put their answer, so you might want to tell the students, write it off to the side or something like that, or you can use some whiteout or something and make it bigger. But notice they have a place for their name, the date, the time, your name, what it is. It's all ready for you. Here's the key on the last page. Now, last cool thing about this is if you were to do it again, so go to print. Include question ID. Takes a little while for the button to show up. And then I'm just going to make it a PDF again. And then, so quiz version 2 or something like that. Open that. So the cool thing is, same kind of questions, except for they're different numbers. So if you want to make different versions of the same quiz, like version A, version B, or have this saved in every single class, just reprint it and it's going to be a different version. So you don't have to worry about keeping the quizzes or anything like that. It prints another version for you. Okay, and hopefully that's helpful.